famous line, and we are live. And we are live.
Yes, we are live, and we're here to talk about Wonder Woman 84 tonight. Before we get into that, though,
The real Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make a few reminders. Tonight, after this, I will take a little break, and then I will be back to at 10 o'clock to discuss WandaVision theories and speculation, and great new series from Marvel that
Loved it.
is has me pretty excited. And then on Friday, Steve and I will be back at 9 p.m. for to discuss the championship games in
Baseball.
NFL championship games that are being held on Sunday. So, got that going on. Was there an, I meant to ask earlier in the day, but I forgot. Is there something going on with the play tomorrow?
Well, it's inauguration day. But there's nothing going on with the play, no. I mean, the play takes place on inauguration day.
Oh, okay.
It actually was mentioned in a couple of sort of threads out there, so people can listen to it for free. A Day at the White House, the Sparks brothers go to Washington. Very funny. Groucho Marx gets elected president of the United States.
Yeah. And they can do that by going to the website.
AcademyArtsPress.com.
AcademyArtsPress.com. Okay. So
and then look at the link that says Day at the White House. Too much fun.
Okay. Can everybody hear me okay?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you all hear me okay?
What was that?
All right. So, yeah. Sounds a little different to me because I don't have the big headphones on today. Still trying to work out there's a bleeding issue with sound, and I'm trying to work that out. So let's talk a little Wonder Woman. Kind of excited about this movie when I heard about it. I heard that they were bringing it to HBO Plus. Just because with 2020 we've gotten so few new movies. Definitely an absolute desert when it comes to big cinema blockbusters, big superhero movies. So I was looking very much. I mean, this was. I was counting it down. It hasn't gotten the best reviews.
Really?
In fact, I was told.
Surprising.
I was told by someone that in order to do this particular episode, we would have to go from the PG that we had last week to PG-13.
It was terrible. Did you watch the whole movie?
Yes, I did.
Did you enjoy the whole movie?
Past the first 37 seconds.
Well, I did, and when I initially watched it was okay. And I think that in hindsight, the reason it was okay was because we had not had a superhero movie in a long time, and just having something was better than nothing.
So,
and
okay,
but when I went back
to
and looked at the movie as a whole,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it certainly
sucked.
It was certainly many steps below the original Wonder Woman film. A little disappointed. Had more faith in Patty Jenkins as a director. Yeah, there were quite a few problems in this film. And we'll start nailing those as we kind of work our way through this. So we open on Themyscira. I think, if I remember right, that's what we're calling it here. It's been called in the comics and other shows. It's been called everything from Themyscira to Paradise Island.
I think it's good that they named it after mascara.
But
that's about as deep as it got.
Yeah. So there's a competition, and a very young Diana enters it. You watch it and you're thinking, man, is this an appropriate competition for a small child? And
that's the only part of the movie that I liked, actually, was the opening scene. I liked it. You didn't like it? I liked the beginning. I thought it was cute.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
I like the setup that it was a lesson for Diana, in that during the competition, well, I don't know. Here's the thing: as difficult as the competition was, as many things that she had to do, she gets waylaid by a tree branch.
Because she was looking back and not paying attention. That was her fault.
Right.
But she is a demigod, and you would think a tree branch? Seriously?
Yeah. Look out for that tree. So
the worst part, in my opinion, was the fact that 15 seconds into it, you could tell the special effects were really hokey. The stunt work, it reminded me of, in the 1990s, the old Superman movies, which at the time we thought were okay. Where you sort of see people going in slow motion on, or comparatively slow motion compared to most action stuff. You compare it to a Marvel movie, look at this compared to Avengers Endgame, and it's like a kindergarten version.
Yeah. And so Diana cheats. And that's a little ambiguous too, because she was given the circumstances. I guess she did go off the course, but it was really kind of a smart way to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But she did go off course. So when she got to back to the arena, she gets snatched up just as she's getting ready to hurl her spear, I guess, and win the main prize. Now, I did like what was said to her when she got snatched up, and she's sitting there crying about it, and she was told, she said, "You cheated. That is the truth. That's the only truth, and truth is all there is. No true hero is born from lies." And so there's some meaning there. There's some thought there. Not sure how well that played out throughout the rest of the movie. It would have been nice if this lesson had been a driving force, or a driving thematic force all the way from beginning to end. But I don't know that was registering with me all the way through the film. And so you kind of have this whole big opening sequence, and that's what you get from it. And then the next thing you know, you're in modern day, or not modern day, but 1984 America.
And you might as well turn the movie off right there.
Wow.
It jumps into the mall, doesn't it? Right.
Yeah. So we have a group of thugs
I have notes. Let me look.
A group of thugs come into the mall.
They stole something.
Yeah, they robbed the store.
They found the
Oh yeah,
all the black market stuff in the back.
right.
Which is where we get introduced to the stone.
So they stole
I didn't
this.
catch that.
Huh?
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. So they stole all that stuff and are trying to get away. And of course, Wonder Woman arrives on the scene. And I guess nobody was too familiar because later they would talk about it like, oh well, it wasn't really the police that caught them. So I guess she hadn't been out in the public eye all this time. I don't know what, which leaves us a little bit of a question. What was she doing between the end of the original Wonder Woman and this movie?
Well, I think it's interesting because from 1918 to 1984, there was evidently no crime that she had to help with or no catastrophe because nobody knew her. It's the first time we've seen her. And the first big thing since World War I is shoplifting in a mall.
Right.
Yay,
So
Wonder
where was
Woman.
she during World War II, the Vietnam War, all these other crises, and then she's going to come back for a mall robbery. I don't know. Maybe she was involved, but was doing it more clandestine. I don't know.
And you could do it clandestine in the outfit that she has.
Yeah.
People won't notice.
Yeah. Yeah. So it does beg the. And if you remember back in Batman, was it Batman versus Superman? Or yeah, I think it was Batman versus Superman when Batman's kind of starting to put together a file on some of the meta-humans that are out there, and he really the only photograph he really had was from World War One.
Right.
So, all right. So, what did you all think about the fight scene in the mall?
My notes say ridiculous. I liked when that guy hung the kid over the rail, though.
Yeah. I thought there was a little bit too much swinging on the lasso like Spider-Man.
Exactly. And not as good as Spider-Man. It looked to me like, okay, let's swing in on the rope and let's probably move at half the speed that Spider-Man does when he goes through.
Right. It seemed like too that it was problematic for her that there were 4 people in 4 different locations and she has to keep running back and forth between the 4 in order to fight them.
Right. Compared to when she was a kid and did it in the all the things she did in the first one.
Yeah.
4 guys in a mall should have been a cakewalk.
Yeah. I kept thinking, can you kind of round these guys up and wrap it up? Because I'm not really wanting a whole half-hour scene of you fighting thugs in a mall.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to be fighting, let's fight something a little bit more significant. And the cutesy winking at the kid.
Mm-hmm. Which is how she's remained undercover for all those years. She just gives him a wink and then they go, wasn't really Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe part of the ploy was to go back to some of the cheesy 80 TV shows. Like maybe this was a little bit above, say, like anybody remember Battlestar Galactica 1980?
Right. $6 Million Man, the original Wonder Woman TV show. It was that hokey.
Yeah. So So yeah, there's that. I was, now when I was initially watching it, I'm thinking, well, it's great to see a superhero on the screen again, but it kind of wore off quick because it was so hokey.
Do we have any comments?
Do what?
Do we have any comments?
Well, that would be I covered them up again. So
can't see
thank
them
you for pointing that out to me.
On my end, I can't see them.
There are no comments yet.
God. Not
As
only
far as I
did
can
Wonder
tell.
Woman suck, our live stream sucks. Nobody's gonna watch that either.
Probably be better if I get off. For you do better when I'm not here.
Oh no, Vin, I think you're adding quite a bit. We're glad that you're here. Let's see. What are my notes saying? All right, so she beats the criminals, and then we have a brief sight of her in her condo, I guess. And I can't even remember what that was about. The scene that followed with her at the restaurant, out at doors at the cafe, impacted me more than anything than the brief shot at the condo.
I don't have anything about that. I just have it going straight to meeting Christian.
Well, there wasn't much. I mean, it was kind of setting up. Here's this, and I'll give Gal Gadot this much. I mean, she is a beautiful woman, and it is odd to see a woman that attractive alone at a restaurant. So I guess that's part of what they were trying to set up. I don't know. And then, because the only real significant interaction wasn't really an interaction, it was her looking up and seeing a plane. And I guess she was thinking about Steve Trevor. And I guess that was foreshadowing what was about to happen.
So I think some guy tried to pick her up at the restaurant, didn't they? Or some guy introduces himself to her and she sort of passes him off again to show that without Steve Trevor, she's been choosing to be lonely.
Yeah, that could very well be. It's been a minute since I actually watched the film in length, so it just didn't. That part didn't make an impact on me. But I think you're right. But the only part that I significantly stuck with me was her looking up and seeing the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess that is to show that she has Trevor on her mind at this point. So she's thinking about him and maybe even grieving.
For 66 years, yes.
Yeah, well.
Mandy will grieve for me after I'm dead for 66 years. She's promised.
Oh, wow. So then we run into the phenomenal Kristen Wiig.
Phenomenal.
Well, I was just going off your. I mean, because you and Kristen Wiig are.
Oh yeah, we're best friends, but she sucked in this movie. I'm gonna call her and let her know.
I think in general, it's a shame because what a great cast.
It was
we
really
had some great people who did like some of the worst performances of their careers in this movie.
Yeah, I generally like Gal Gadot.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Pine, great actor. Have really enjoyed him, especially in the Star Trek.
Kristen Wiig and Pedro. I mean, he went from the Mandalorian, lead in the Mandalorian, to this really silly part. Maxwell
Lord.
Yes.
I had not made that connection until you just said it, because I just started watching Mandalorian season 1 the other day,
mm-hmm.
and he's the Mandalorian.
He's the Mandalorian, and he's been in a number of fantastic movies. He's in Star Wars too, usually with a mustache and black hair and better acting.
I was going to say, I did not like him in this.
Oh, he was awful.
It just, yeah, again, it was just too cheesy. Now, Maxwell Lord, here comes the comic book geek. Of course, Maxwell Lord is best known for titles like Justice League International, which was a very cheesy spinoff of Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
So that character comes from kind of a silly time, though there have been serious stories written about Maxwell Lord, and kind of similar to this story where he gains a tremendous amount of power. There was a story where Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman are all fighting him because he is so powerful. And Wonder Woman makes the decision to snap his neck and kill him, which kind of set her at odds with both Superman and Batman. And I wonder how much of that storyline was actually inspiration for Superman to kill Zod in Man of Steel and make that decision.
Dale, you're a comic book expert. All those decades of Wonder Woman comics, all those great plots and characters and villains, and they chose this plot? I mean, did that seem like, wow, where did you come up with that? They could have pulled from anything and come up with better villains.
I'm guessing that they must have thought that the storyline with her and Maxwell Lord from the comics was significant enough to do that. Now she doesn't have the greatest rogues gallery. Cheetah is one of her, most regular foes. I've seen her, when I don't know how well her solo comics do. She's big with Justice League, but when I've watched, when I've read, on the occasion that I've read Wonder Woman comics, I've never really been impressed with the rogues gallery. And some of the guys she fights, it's just about, I don't know. I would be hard pressed to tell you a particular storyline that's ever hit Wonder Woman that people would go, oh yeah, there's this. Whereas with Batman, you can always point to things like The Long Halloween or Death in the Family or just a number of different storylines that were historically significant. Nightfall, then what was the one with where earthquake hit Gotham City? So there are all these significant storylines. Even with Superman, you've got like the death of Superman,
right?
That kind of
even
thing.
if they had taken,
Woman, she really doesn't have a.
I'm sorry. Even
she
if
really
taken
doesn't
a villain
have
from another show.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Maybe they were just reaching a little bit with Maxwell Lord, but it does seem like there were other villains that they could have pegged to be a little bit more significant, or at least not as cheesy. Don't play them so cheesy. It doesn't have to be, unless you're going, save the cheese. Unless you're going to make an international Justice League movie, save the cheese. But yeah, he ends up coming just too slapsticky. I mean, just too over the top. And so let's see where we are here. All right, so
I'm going to head out. Leave this to you guys, but
okay.
Thank you for letting me visit. And if I can just comment, lousy script. Patty Jenkins really wasn't directing as well as she did in the first movie.
No.
Stunts were terrible. Just they didn't learn anything from Marvel movies
No,
based on this. So
no.
anyway, thank you all.
All righty. So at this point, we're with we're we're with Kristen as her character Barbara Minerva walks into work.
Mm-hmm.
She drops all her stuff. I'm not convinced that you didn't somehow magically slap the stuff out of her hands out of anger. Did you wish on the wish stone for all her stuff to go flying?
Yes, I wished on the wish stone for the movie to end right then and there.
So her stuff goes flying. Nobody will help her except Diana.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then gotta give Babs credit. I mean, she asked Diana out on a date right then and there.
She did, yeah.
I mean,
And she took her up on it, didn't she?
yeah. Well, this almost made Wonder Woman look like a gold digger because she only wanted. At this point, it almost looks like Wonder Woman just wants to be her friend because she knows she is now involved with this Dreamstone, and that's the only reason they're being friends. But
Yeah.
then they try to give you some dialogue with the two of them at the restaurant to maybe show less than or show that she has more better reasons for wanting to be her friend than just because of the Dreamstone. But before we got to that, that was the moment where right before they went to lunch, that was when Diana actually got to see the stone, right?
Yeah. And then
And that's when she must have subconsciously made a wish for Steve.
yeah. Well, she talked about him at dinner also too.
Yeah. So he was clearly on her mind,
Mm-hmm.
and they're setting us up because that must have been the moment when she accidentally made the wish. Though that's kind of odd because the other two characters are clearly making wishes at their moment, but then she just accidentally makes one.
Terrible.
Yeah. So
No words.
so yeah. So then after dinner, Babs is attacked in the park. She's accosted, and Diana comes to her rescue. And Betty White is about
Yeah,
to join
she
us.
is popping in, isn't she?
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty. Hi. What are you doing?
She looks good for 99.
She does, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
It's the first time one of my cats have made an appearance instead of one of yours.
Yes, and we don't want to wake a sleeping devil.
Yeah.
Where were we at? We were at. All right, so Babs goes back. She has the stone, and she wishes to be sexy and cool like Diana.
Mm-hmm.
And the next morning, she is kind
All of a
of.
sudden, voila, she's wonderful. Yeah. And
Yeah.
she's all sitting up on the desk, like everybody's talking to her. She's all important.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
And she then meets slimy little Maxwell Lord.
Mm-hmm. How did he get a Chinese kid? We ever address that?
I don't know.
Okay.
That was that's a great mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if did he adopt him. I have no idea.
And where's his mother?
Maybe his mother is Asian. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And where is his mother? You're right. Because
the boy should be wishing for his mother to be back.
Right. And so she gives him a tour. He's slimy. it's almost hard to watch because he's so slimy, and so
But she
insincere,
enjoys the attention.
and she's being so needy.
Hmm.
And then Diana walks in, and she's disgusted immediately. But she, at some point, she had gone back to the lab and had put together from the receipt and the business card that she got that he must have possession of. He must know something about the stone. He must be after it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. All right. So after the tour, he goes back to his office. We think, now for those of us who are familiar with Maxwell Lord, we're assuming that he's powerful, and it appears that he's powerful as he's walking in. But then when he gets up to his office,
You find out he's broke.
It looks pitiful.
And what was he living in the office? Is that why the boy was there?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to get at. Not only is the boy, we don't know where his mother is,
or how he became Chinese.
He's just
that might have been
hanging out at the office. It's like a latchkey kid, only he doesn't even have a latch, really. He's just got the office to hang out. Eric Weinbender just coming in to say hello and goodbye. He's saying Marvel greater than DC. Well, Eric, if you get a chance, I'll be back on at 10 for WandaVision. And we'll be discussing some Marvel, so feel free to come in and join us.
Let me tell you how well I slept through WandaVision.
Do what?
I slept all the way through it.
Oh, wow.
He's like, hey, let's watch WandaVision. Okay. Out.
Yeah. So, the kid's just hanging out in the office, just sad.
You know who he reminded me of? The poor little boy from Indiana Jones.
Oh,
what was his name?
It's been a while since I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, that's what he reminded me of.
Yeah, I could see that. Let's see. And from there we go, and Diana's looking for the stone. That's when she sees a receipt and the business card that she got earlier. And then the next scene is about with Diana and Babs at a party. Was that Maxwell Lord's party? I can't remember.
I don't have any notes on that, and I don't remember a party.
Well, they were at a party briefly. Because that's when excuse me. That is when Babs and Maxwell Lord start making out.
Gotcha.
And they're back in her. No, this must have been a party at the workplace, because then they end up back in her office, and you see Maxwell Lord, while he's smooching on her, he palms the stone. And so
that did happen. I remember.
Yeah. And I think that was at the same point, the same party where Diana meets this guy and then figures out that it's Steve Trevor.
Yes. Magic.
Yeah. And so Steve looks like, we figure out that they're going to use a device, kind of a reference point or whatever, that we're going to see this guy like Diana sees him as Steve Trevor, even though he actually looks like this black-haired dude.
Yeah.
So, they go back to Steve Trevor's place,
which was all totally confusing to me. Like, what? He was her neighbor?
Yeah, I guess.
The guy that he became was her neighbor. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And then they try on all of his clothes.
Yeah. Now they kind of cut away. Maxwell Lord kind of wishes to become the Dreamstone. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden he's got all this power. And so I guess then we go back to Diana and Steve's place in the morning. I guess there was some hanky panky, and then Steve woke up and was eating Pop-Tarts.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Close.
huh?
Parachute pants. I
Yeah.
did think it was funny when he tried on the parachute pants, and he's like, "Everyone parachutes now."
Yeah. So
That
that was
was fun.
kind of amusing watching Steve Trevor try to figure out the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of go through the whole scenario where they get them dressed, and then he's got to go figure out a subway.
Mm-hmm.
And then she takes him to what looks like a NASA museum, and he can see what kind of advances has been made. Uh, then
Then my notes say, "Boom, the jet is invisible," and I have no more notes after that.
oh, hang on. Um, so yeah, so then all of a sudden we cut back to Maxwell Lord. His business is getting busy. He wishes for help. Help starts coming in. He starts seeing the power of the stone. He has a scene with his old boss, which I couldn't even really tell you because the whole old boss or old partner thing was so boring. I just really couldn't even tell you what their interactions were really about, except to establish that Lord was a loser in this scene, and now he's powerful and a winner in this scene. I guess that's basically what it boiled down to. There, then we, but there, they, Stephen and Diana are on this kind of mission to figure out what's going on, and they break into Lord's business office and look for clues. And we do get, we almost touch back to the old truth quote because Diana says that her lasso is powered by truth. And I guess she's trying to say that the stone, I don't know what the stone's really powered by except desire. But,
and the stone came from the mall, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an ancient artifact that they were dealing with stolen goods in the back of the shop in the mall, and
Gotcha.
that's why they were after that.
But none of those guys at the mall wished that they would get away or anything like that.
Well, I guess they weren't in physical contact with the stone. It was tucked away in a bag.
It wasn't activated yet.
Right. I guess you have to have physical contact with the stone itself.
Put some batteries in it.
So, yeah, now here comes the playing part. That too bad Value Vinyl Steve is not here because he hated this part too. Because I don't even know what they broke into. They broke into someplace because they had a jet on their lawn. And apparently Steve Trevor had no passport. It never occurred to him to think, well, what about the dude whose body he's inhabiting? Does he have a passport?
Why do they need a passport when Diana now has powers to make airplanes invisible?
Well, if you remember, all right, so they steal the plane that's just sitting out on the lawn. They get it airborne, but then they realize, they're about to get shot down. Mm-hmm. And she remembers, my dad has. Was it her dad? Who did she say?
It could be anybody. It could be her neighbor.
No, she's made a statement about she had seen somebody make something invisible before, and she had attempted it.
She did it only but once.
Right, and it was like on a coffee cup or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so here she is generating enough power to make an entire jet invisible. Which just goes back. I mean, it was like a shoehorned attempt to try to fit in the invisible jet from previous shows and cartoons.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you not watch Wonder Woman growing up? Was
What
there
year
not a show?
What year was that?
Well, I'm thinking about like Super Friends. Then was Super Friends not a thing when you were growing up?
I've never heard Super Friends. No,
Oh, really?
really.
Um, yeah. So that was that. They were trying to shoehorn that in. And that's we're kind of getting to where my notes end. I've got it pulled
What
up
are we
here.
gonna do?
Kind of fast forward here a little bit.
I've got the gist of it down.
So then we run into Kristen Wiig. Oh, this now there was a. We're probably not going to go just scene by scene. It's just going to take too long. But all right, let's hit some of the major scenes. The next major scene to me was Babs. She was walking home. Now,
did you
this
nickname her
point,
Babs, or did someone call
Barbara
her Babs
is her
in this
name.
movie?
I'm just calling her Babs for
Okay.
short.
So that's your nickname. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
So
clarifying.
so she's walking home and runs into Dude again. Only
Okay.
this time she's not just she's got her super strength.
I remember her running into the dude who was hitting on her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she beat the snot out of him.
Yeah. I do remember that. I'll still awake for that. Is that water good?
I'm telling you, I'm parched over here.
Okay. Think about that.
Did she kill him? She left him laying.
Don't recall.
Then we got some more stuff with Maxwell Lord dealing with some Middle Eastern guy, which, oh yeah, this sets up your favorite part.
The end.
There's some negotiating between him and a Middle Eastern guy, and Steve and Diana show up, and then that led to the car chase. Don't tell me you don't remember, because when you were watching it and I text you or on Messenger and said, "Well, how far into it are you?" and you said this is running through the desert, is naked running through the desert while her zombie boyfriend drives the car.
I said that.
Something similar to that.
Let me backtrack and see exactly what I said.
And remember, you don't even have the PG up there today, so.
Oh, so I can't say what I said.
You're going to have to church it up a little bit. Church it up, girl.
Here's our conversation. I hate it. I'm gonna end it all. I hate this movie so much. No, I'm gonna die. You're right. I did say that. This dumb is half naked, running through Saudi Arabia, while her magic dead boyfriend drives. I did say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, I didn't mind the scene too much. It felt kind of Indiana Jones-ish almost a little bit. Okay. I don't know. It did. It got a little bit much when she all of a sudden sees a child in the way and then swings like Spider-Man on her magic lasso to pick the child up. We are noticing that she's taken a couple bullet wounds that normally wouldn't, I guess. Now, I don't understand the physics here. Now Wonder Woman is probably, well, like Wonder Woman and Superman in comic books, they always have these issues of how strong are they. They'll ramp up their powers sometimes, they'll bring them back, because sometimes in stories it gets tough to, if your superhero's too strong, it's hard to put them in peril and have villains really challenge them. So, but my point here is Wonder Woman has these bracelets that she deflects bullets with. If she were invulnerable and wouldn't get hurt from a bullet, why would she be deflecting all these bullets?
I do not know.
But she was getting injured. I guess they were showing that she was losing her powers because she had gotten injured, got a nasty little gash from a bullet. And, Steve was helping her with that. And so I guess that's part of what they were setting up. They had some more little scenes there.
See, I don't really like
there.
comic books. I never got into comic books. I never got into any of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I could watch Iron Man and enjoy it. I could watch the Avengers and enjoy it. I could not watch this and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much I didn't like any of it. He can't hear me. Now's my time that I can use my PG rating.
I lost my earpiece. Hang on.
You should have heard the things I said.
Oh, wow.
You're going to have to go back and censor.
Yeah. So I'm looking, I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit through here. He's talking to that child again, and the child's kind of wishing that he had his dad back.
His real dad, not his adopted one.
Is that what he was wanting?
Mm-hmm.
So Maxwell Lord was his adopted dad.
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't see the scene where he has to go through the agency and beg for him?
It must have left an impression on me.
Huh.
So now I'm kind of fast forwarding up. We got Diana and
I
Steve
can't believe you didn't see that, because it references the cheetah at the adoption agency.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. They have cages with cheetahs outside of the adoption agency.
Okay, so we've got Maxwell Lord talking to a guy that looks kind of like Ronald Reagan.
It is Ronald Reagan. He made a cameo.
And then there's a conflict at the I guess this is at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
And quite a fight scene where Diana and Steve are kicking some butt until Babs shows up.
Hey, Babs.
Huh?
I'm listening. Go.
And so then Babs kicks her butt. Part of that is because she's now super powered, and also because Diana is losing her powers as part of what's happened to her. And it's kind of a, what are we going to do? Then Steve helps get her away from all that. And it's really a moment of kind of humiliation, because she got her butt handed to her, and then
had it hanging out of those pants.
Huh?
She shouldn't have had it hanging out.
So then we come up to the part where this, I don't know if this impacted you at all emotionally or not, but as they're dragging her away, they realize the only way that she's going to get better is if she renounces her wish, which she couldn't do earlier. She had an opportunity to renounce her wish earlier, but she couldn't let go of Steve. And so they're by this awning or by this pillar, and Steve tells her that what she's got to do, and tells her, "I'm already gone." Did that hit home with you at all? Had they endeared themselves to you
No,
in any way?
no, I was like, finally, homie, go back where you came from because I'm tired of looking at you.
You're freezing up a little bit. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Okay. So then she starts crying and she turns
Oh, I should have
around.
said I'm already gone. That would have been
Huh?
a great. I should have said I'm already gone.
So she says goodbye to him and starts running away. That wasn't the worst way to do that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then she starts flying. And they had talked about flying earlier. And so now she is actually flying through the air. And I guess Maxwell Lord's going back to his base or someplace
Mm-hmm.
to take over and to broadcast to the world. He's going to use the Dreamstone
Yeah.
in order to get everybody to start wishing on things, because he had been trying to get people, manipulate people into wishing on certain things to help further his cause. Then he figures out he's going to broadcast and get that done quicker. And so he's doing that. In the meantime, Babs has wished to become even deadlier. She wants to be a predator.
Apex
And
predator.
so she has actually become has gone through her transformation into the cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Then we've got Diana showing up on that locale, that base.
Mm-hmm.
And this was odd to me, was her new armor.
The gold stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Yeah. What I didn't like about it was that that gold armor with the wings.
Because she
You're
had
not
to be like a bird to fight a cat.
right. You're not a comic book geek like probably I am or Vin is. But there's a character called Hawk Girl in the comic books.
Is there now?
Yeah. And so I'm wondering, well, if they ever bring Hawk Girl to the movies, it's going to be kind of anticlimactic now, because we've already had Wonder Woman show that she can be Hawk Girl long before Hawk Girl.
Maybe she made a wish to be Hawk Girl.
That could be. So we get this Hawk Girl looking armor, and we watch Cheetah try to rip her to shreds, and of course the armor helps her through that. How did she end up winning that fight?
She electrocuted her in water.
Oh, that's right. I don't know that I really cared for the way they made Cheetah look in this film. I didn't think the special effects were great on that.
No. But I read that they asked the I don't know, the director or the writer or somebody if they did that intentionally to leave it open to where she could come back.
Oh, for the electrocution?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we saw
final.
that she kind of survived that,
Oh.
because I thought we saw her later in kind of the post log. Kind of, they showed a glimpse of her.
I don't recall that.
All right, so then we got Maxwell Lord kicking Diana's butt inside, and Diana kind of crawling off in the corner. And then we kind of see her use a similar trick that was played for. It was a gag in Justice League when Aquaman sat on her lasso, lasso of truth, and then started spilling his guts on how everything he felt, and they all of a sudden realized he was sitting on her lasso. That's why he started running off at the mouth. That was a gag in Justice League. Now it's a plot device to which she beats this superpowered megalomaniac in this feature film. I really wasn't digging that either. So we got Maxwell Lord trying to manipulate everybody on Earth through a broadcast, and Diana's talking, and she says, "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everybody else." And then we see that he's standing on the lasso. He's wound up in the lasso, and that she's using him to influence everybody else.
To renounce their wishes.
Right. And to avert what looked like was getting ready to be a nuclear war.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it probably seemed clever when they were writing it up, but to me, it was a little lame to use that what was a gag in Justice League as a way to wrap up this movie. And then we get some prologue with some of the characters. She even runs into the dude was Steve hijacked his body.
Her neighbor.
Yeah.
I wonder if her neighbor now knows, like, he's been in her bed.
Think maybe he has a flashback to sleeping with her at some point?
Maybe. Make a movie about that. I'll watch that. It'll probably be better than this. Wonder Woman's Neighbor. Reviewed by Mandy.
So, and then you wonder exactly what's going to happen with Maxwell Lord. I guess nothing. He's brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, but last we saw of him, he was with his kid, and they were hugging, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like Christmas time in the city, and there you have Wonder Woman 84, which really wasn't very good film.
No, it was awful. It was terrible. I hated every single second. It was torture. It was the worst thing you've ever made me watch.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it, what are you going to do during these COVID days when there are no superhero films?
Nap.
In fact, before Wonder Woman 84, which came out Christmas Day of last year, did we have any superhero films come out in 2020? In 2020.
Did we need
Marvel
any?
was, huh?
Did we need any?
Yes, we did.
No.
Because already 2019 was light because
that other chick came out in 2019, didn't she?
Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of the wrapping up of that phase of Marvel movies. You had Captain Marvel, I believe, in January. Then you had Endgame in like March or April, and then you got Spider-Man Far From Home in the summer, and then there was nothing else from Marvel. And I don't think DC. Did DC have a movie in 2019? Maybe. When did Shazam come out? I don't remember, but it had been a while since we had a superhero movie. So when Wonder Woman comes out,
And
yeah,
disciplines the nation.
I really wanted to like it. And because we missed out the other movies that have not been should have been out already, but aren't out. We don't have Black Widow out yet. WandaVision is just now coming out, and I think it got knocked back some.
And you liked that?
WandaVision,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's been good. It definitely has intrigued me as far as what's going on because when we left. When the last time we saw Vision was when Thanos ripped the Soul Stone out of his forehead and left his lifeless body laying. We saw Scarlet Witch kind of take it to Thanos right at the end of Endgame. She had a moment where she really surprisingly had Thanos back on his heels for a minute, and then we had the scene where she and Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner's character, they had that moment right at the very end of that movie where they're kind of looking out over the lake after they've had the service for Tony Stark, and they're talking about characters, I guess, kind of being at peace and knowing or having a sense of knowing that their sacrifice meant something. And it was clear that Hawkeye was talking about Black Widow, who was sacrificed, and then Scarlet Witch was talking about Vision. So now we've jumped into this series with Vision and Scarlet Witch, where they're in sitcom land, and there's, I'm pretty geeked up for it because we don't know exactly what's going on. We have some speculation, and some of that speculation's based on stories from the comics. So everybody's thinking that Scarlet Witch has formed this kind of pocket reality, but that's definitely going to be part of what I'm getting into at 10 o'clock is exactly how are they and where are they and what all this is going to lead to. Because science fiction movies have set up all sorts of ways that you can get into alternate realities, whether it's, the Matrix kind of set up this whole notion that you can create realities technologically. The Avengers have kind of set up this notion that you can get to different realities through the multiverse or through the actually using science to get to the multiverse. And then there's the Wanda with her magical supernatural type powers actually creating an alternate reality or a pocket reality, and so yeah, it's going to be interesting to kind of go through all the theories of how they are and why they are, and of course all that'll be revealed. But that's kind of the fun of a lot of these long story arcs with characters, kind of like in previous seasons of The Flash, where we've had mystery villains. Where we've had mystery villains, and there's a lot of theories and speculations as to who the mystery villains are and why why they're doing what they're doing and all that good stuff. So
it sounds so cool to be
yeah,
in your
and I
brain,
know you're just
in your mind.
huh.
It sounds so amazing to be in your mind.
Well, but now when you get off here, Yeah, go to YouTube and do a search on WandaVision and see how many videos there are where
How
people
many?
are putting forward their theories as to what's happening and
I can
looking
tell
at
you.
clues.
I can tell you right now, I'm not going to do that.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying.
But you know what? Vin's into it. I mean, he liked it.
Yeah, yeah, and
I'll make him watch your video.
yeah. So uh, I've already had fun just thinking about, which way are they going to go with this. I mean, I kind of think
Is it not over? I mean, you didn't binge watch it? Is it?
they put out the first 2 episodes on Friday,
Oh,
and they're going to put out an episode every Friday from here for the next probably through February
on Netflix?
on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
isn't that what it's called? Disney Plus or Disney
garbage.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
on the Disney Channel because Disney owns the rights to Avengers.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
well, I appreciate you being willing to look at this movie. Well, sort of. I don't know. Would you, if Vin hadn't said I'm going to watch this movie,
No,
would you have finished it?
I would have no.
Because I was offering you, if you remember, I
You gave
offered
me an
you.
out. Yeah.
I said, hey, if you don't want to, we can always chuck it and go find another movie.
We were too far in. It was too close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It was bad.
Well, yeah. I am
Swing
sorry.
and a miss. Try harder. They should try harder next time.
Okay. We need to. I'll get the thinking about what we need to do for next week. I guess we'll be back next Wednesday. Sound good to you?
You should be fine. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you.
Let's put out a vote. Let's let some people vote.
Well, if you can figure out how we can put a poll on the Dolph Van Dale page.
A poll. Just do I don't know. Just do something on your page.
Just say give us some suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll also take a look at some of what's coming out that's big, going to be released on Netflix, and because I think they're ramping up. Disney's pretty much said all their big stuff's coming out on the app.
Okay.
I think Netflix is they're always doing their own thing, and I'm thinking there are going to be some other big releases.
Okay.
On streaming apps, so I'll take a look at that too and see what I can come up with. And
okay,
but yeah, sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. Whoever wrote, directed, produced this movie, you owe me an apology.
Okay, I'll see if I can find Patty Jenkins on Twitter.
Yeah, have her call me
and tell her
I
that
discussed it with you, Patty Jenkins.
I will give her credit. She and Gal Gadot did a great job on the original. Have you ever seen the original Wonder Woman?
I want to say yes. It's possible.
But you can't remember?
I feel like Vin made us all, the whole family, go and see it.
Okay. Probably.
But I couldn't tell you what happened. Popcorn was probably good. And I probably had a soda. Couldn't tell you from there.
You don't remember the movie where like Diana was coming from the mascara for the first time and Steve Trevor was injured and then they had the scenes where he's like disrobing in front of her and
no, because honestly I thought that Steve was Captain America. And then they had to be like, no, that's two different companies or universes or whatever.
Yeah.
I've probably seen Wonder Woman, yes, but I don't know what happened.
That's funny. You thought he was Captain America. And I can see that. Chris Evans and Chris Pine are both blondes.
Yeah.
Short hair, blonde guys. So that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we will wrap this up for this week,
Goodbye.
and I'll make an announcement on the Doff Van Dale page on Facebook once we made a decision about what next week's movie will be, and I'll also try to plan out several weeks in advance.
Yeah, I think we should do that again. We should have a lineup. I think that made it easier when we did that Christmas lineup.
Yeah. I thought that was a lot easier too.
Yeah.
All right.
So
for everybody watching, if you've stuck with us this long, we really
God bless
appreciate
you.
it. And we will see you soon. Hang on, let's find my cursor and I'll take us out.